Hey guys, so you saw that video, that TikTok that I made, and I wanted to expand on that in a actual YouTube video. And we're going to break it down into sections. Now, I'm probably not going to put the timestamps in the description. You know how people put timestamps and what the section is called, and then YouTube does the sections for you? I'm probably not going to do that because I'm very minimal effort with my videos. I just talk and upload. But it is going to be in sections for different topics. So first, I want to talk about from my personal experience, right? So the group of boys that I'm talking about in my personal experience at my school, it's a very specific group. A very specific group. And when this very specific group are the ones who specifically instigate or just make, the acting racist jokes like frequently, like that's their main source of humor, right? And for me, it's a very specific group of people at my school, but over 200 people liked that video on TikTok. So clearly it's applicable to other people. That's the first thing I want to start with. Second thing, I want to get into how it's kind of like a N-word pass situation, because there are black boys in that specific group that I'm talking about who also participate in the jokes. And the problem is that they do it alongside non-black people, specifically white. And it is an N-word pass situation because they see that, their black friends are participating in the jokes and also making jokes like that, and the black friends just tolerate or don't, they think it's okay for their non-black friends to also make those jokes, and they do it together, and it's so weird. We know it's weird, but I'm just saying, in a way, the black people and the black boys specifically who take part in this, you are disrespecting yourself. I know you have a mentality of, oh, it's not that serious, it's just a joke, but I promise you, you are disrespecting yourself by participating in the jokes. So, yeah. Next, what else do I want to talk about? Next, I want to talk about the other people who are usually, everything kind of goes hand in hand. If you're a friend with the specific problem people who make, who try and make acting racist a joke, and that's their like whole humor, that's what their humor is built off of. Like, if you are a person who also participates in the jokes or entertains the jokes, you know you were often a friend of that person, you're cool with that person, you're cool with those group of people, you're friends with them, you associate with them by choice. And it's really disheartening to see the amount of people who just act like it's normal. Now, obviously, there are people who are like more aware, or I can say more mature, and there obviously are other people who realize how weird it is to have that type of humor, but a lot of people just kind of participate in it. So what I mean by that is that the weird person or weird people will start doing their little acting racist bit, and then other people oftentimes it's other white people. It's just the fact that, like, and I know that there's certain friend groups of black people who participate and racist joking around and all that type of stuff, like, oh, slave, monkey, you know, that is a type of humor that can be seen in like exclusively black friend groups, or even with Hispanic friend groups, you know, even Hispanics and black people in a friend group together, you know, just like making race-based jokes like that. But it's just bad because non-white people in this case are participating in it, and that goes back to the n-word past like situation or scenario that is going on, right? But back to my original point, it just seems like majority of people don't see it as a problem, or just see it as like normal, when it's not normal. It's not normal at all to be white and act racist, like, most of the time, and like be like, it's a joke. No, it's not. And I actually, do I wanna, I'm trying not to like give tea, like I will if I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. I do interact with these people, but still, you know, the white ones who are part of this group, they have said multiple times about believing that white people can experience racism. So there is some, you know, y'all see what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what I mean by that. Like, I don't know if it's like necessarily like bigotry, but like, bullying is not racism. Like, bullying does not always mean racism. Like, you know what I mean? White people don't really experience racism because bullying is not racism. I feel like people think that, like, oh, I'm getting bullied for being white. You know, we're not going to go anymore into that because that is dumb. But the white people, a part of this group, do often say that they don't like when people say that white people can't experience racism. So we see where this weird humor comes from. And I've said this in another TikTok of mine. I've talked about this in another TikTok of mine. This exact topic of these weirdos and how people just accept these these weird jokes and still associate with these people. I've talked about this in another TikTok, and I was saying that if these non-black people must come from like some form of racist background, like, I'm like, your parents or your grandparents, somebody you grew up with, some adult figure has to be actually racist in your life for you to be making all of these types of jokes. You know what I mean? It's just very odd and very weird. I know I keep saying that, but it is. Oh, I got a notification, y'all. Anyways, I don't even remember what I was saying before, but I was talking about other people participating in the jokes. Yeah, it makes me feel so weird because I'm like, do y'all not see how weird they are? Do you not see the weirdness of it all? You know, and I think it boils down to a lack of maturity. And it's like, just because you don't understand that you're weird, just because you don't understand, like, you do understand, but like, you're not mature enough to change your ways, you know? And I hope you grow out of that. So, actually, I don't know what else I have to say. I feel like I had to say more before I started going on a different tangent. I hope what I said makes sense. And also, I have to clock my tea before I end this video. I do interact with these people, and I do agree that I need to stop interacting with them and stop physically putting myself in spaces around these people. because that's just me taking my own accountability for myself. You know, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about the people who participate in these jokes. Now, occasionally they will get a laugh out of me. I can't lie. But that's because of the absurdity of these jokes. Because it's absurd, you know? Not because I actually think the concept of acting racist is funny. So, yeah, that's accountability for myself. Stop putting yourself physically around these people and ignore them and shut the noise out, you know? But it's just the main part that's disheartening to me is everybody acting as if it's normal and everybody just like being cordial with these particular boys in my school. Like everybody is just still like cordial with them when that should not be the case, in my personal opinion. So I think that's it. I covered, you know, the background of it. It's the background. I covered how the black boys who participate in that humor with non-black people are disrespecting themselves. I covered how like majority, well, I go to a multi-grade school obviously, but majority of the people in my grade, I would say, maybe just like keep it to that scale, still associate with these people and participate in the weird jokes. And it makes me feel like I'm going insane because, like, am I the only one who's seeing how weird this is? Obviously, I'm not. Obviously, there's other aware people. There's other people who see how weird it is. There's other people who have maturity and see how weird it is. But I think what I can add to that section is that there are some people who I'm like, oh, they don't seem like they would make those type of jokes or participate in that, but then like they did, but then I witnessed them do it. I witnessed them participate in it, and I'm like, huh. You know, that's the bizarre part, to be honest. It's not the people who I would expect to participate in it because, you know, they're already weird. It's the people who seem level-headed, and then I witness with my own two eyes them participating in the jokes or being cordial with the weirdos, and I'm like, what? How do you not, like, you seem intelligent and level-headed enough to see the weirdness of it all, but yet you still choose to participate in that, you know? And I then, in the last point, I clocked myself. I called myself out on physically putting myself around these people. And yes, I might have classes with them, but there are ways to physically distance yourself from these people and not associate with them at all. Because if we're gonna go off the point of black people, the black boys who participated in it, I have to include myself and say that I am disrespecting myself by putting myself around them. And that's the end of this rant. See you in the next video.